Good afternoon, my extended family. Good afternoon. It's Saturday, June 27th, 2020. I know it's highly unusual for me to post a video outside of my nightly show about visiting different states, funny laws still on the books, and other lighthearted items, but after giving much thought and prayer, I felt doing this was the right thing to do. For anybody who's watching and listening to me, know that whether you agree or disagree with me, my faith tells me that my Creator, my God, loves you more than I love you. No matter how strong my love for all creation is, the Creator's love is far greater than anything I can muster up. I believe that. Why is this important? Because if I'm going to be the person that I say that I am and show integrity, I'm going to not just remember that love, but display that love for all creation, whether we agree or we disagree. I have to admit that that's not always easy, but I'm just as fallen and as broken as everybody else. We are all held accountable for our actions, especially when our actions are injurious to others. That being said, I woke up this morning to the news that Washington, D.C. is on its way to become the 51st state. What a headline. But my first thoughts are coming out in print right now. Before we jump to a 51st state, let's use our gift of reason bestowed on us by our Creator. No more emotional decisions. Emotional decisions devoid of any reasoning usually lead to chaos and anarchy. Now, if you're looking for chaos and anarchy, if that's your goal, if you're working towards that cause, you'll find it, as other countries have, but you won't like it because eventually the offender becomes the offended. Like I wrote the other night, for believers, you're making a grave mistake when you act without thinking and therefore not owning your behavior, because we are held accountable. For believers, sure, we have redemption, but it comes at a price. We have to be truly repentant for that redemption. We know what redemption means. And we know what being repentant means. For unbelievers, the old saying of what goes around comes around seems appropriate. Violence begets violence. Violence is not the way. Caring, nurturing, and loving each other, that's the way. Our Creator has given us the gift of reason for a reason. It's a gift that the God that I believe in expects us to use. We, all of us, every one of us are made in His image. Again, all of us, fearfully and wonderfully made. Not some of us, not part of us, but all of us. Creation didn't occur because all of a sudden God had this whimsical idea and then said, you know what, I'm going to set creation in motion. It didn't happen like that. Think of how we are all made. His wonderful creation. All of us. All of us. I think He must be highly disappointed in a lot of our behaviors. All of us. Maybe 51 is a good idea. Maybe 51 is a bad idea. But let's think this through, along with everything else that our country is going through. Let's find out why the United States Constitution back in 1790 provided for a federal district, the District of Columbia, to come under the exclusive jurisdiction of the United States Congress, and therefore not part of any U.S. state. Understand that some wanted our capital to be located more south, in a slave-friendly region that would not be looking anytime soon to free slaves. Did you know that? Its present location was decided for reasons. Let's find all those reasons. And if it doesn't make any sense, sure, let's make it a state, if making it a state makes sense. Let's not just change something for the sake of changing something. The District of Columbia was nearly destroyed during the War of 1812. The District of Columbia was nearly destroyed during the War of 1812. Enemy forces invaded the city and burned much of it to the ground, including the newly completed White House, our White House, the Capitol, our Capitol, and the Library of Congress with all its books and statues. I can't believe that any responsible, democracy-loving American wants to see this again, because we could be seeing the beginning of the end if we don't stand and stop it. Like I said, this is our White House. It is our Capitol building, our Library of Congress. Again, I do know that there are anarchists who want the destruction of the United States as they would want the destruction of any country that they might find themselves in. Anarchists don't work for law and order. We are a country of laws. We have to decide if we want it to stay that way. Laws that we've been able to change as needed. Let's keep that alive. I think it's the best thing that the world's got going is this democracy. Is it perfect? No. Does it need to be changed? Yes. But we do have the ways and means to change it. Let's not let other people direct our narrative, you know? I'm praying that there are more of us who want the United States to keep changing for the better and flourish for all. I'm asking all voters to educate themselves. I'm asking all voters to pray. But educate yourselves to all the issues. Find the facts and then make a decision that aligns with your faith, our democracy, and our Constitution. Without our democracy, you have no vote. You'll have no freedom of religion, no freedom of speech. You will not be protected while having a peaceful assembly. This is already happening. Politicians ordering police to stand down. What is that? Stand down when laws are being broken. This is treasonous behavior by our elected officials. From the beginning of time, after the fall of man, mistakes have been made. We now have a fallen nature, and many of our thought-out plans are even mistakes. How much more are whimsical decisions, hastily made mistakes? It's like buyer's remorse. You buy something without thinking, and soon after you walk out the store, you want to return it. Well, I don't want to return the United States. I don't want to return it to the 1950s. I don't want to return it to the 1800s, not the 1700s. I don't want to give it back to Great Britain, and I don't want to give it to any other country. This is our country. This election is, according to me, the most important election since 1860, when Lincoln was elected president. Let's make sure that we know what's at stake. Use our God-given reasoning power to cast our votes. I could go on, and probably will with other active issues, but I'll cut you some slack and end my thoughts here. So until we meet again, wait a minute, one last thing. I'm not waiting for government to stand up for my Constitution. It's our Constitution. We need to amend the Constitution. We, the people, have it amended. When it needs to be amended, we have it amended. That's what this country does. Look around the world, it has fallen from democracy. Look at the similarities of what happened to them and what's happening to us now. We can't let this happen. The government is supposed to represent all of us, and that's up to us, not the other way around. When was the last time some special interest group gave you millions of dollars for a favor in return? I pray that never happens to me, and I pray I never get offered, because, like I said above, I'm just as broken as everybody else. But think about it. Would we have any freedoms under a monarch? A monarch, or a dictator, or a theocracy, where we have to believe in a certain religion, and anything in your religion has to come down? Is that what we really want? Because this is what's at stake. Do we want to be under the rule of a socialist or a communist nation? Think about that. Think about these nations. They exist. We're not going through this for the first time. We might, as a nation, be going through this, but other nations have gone through this and have lived through this, so we can learn by their mistakes. And if you think it can't happen here, again, it has in other places around the world, and it might just be happening here. That's why we need to direct our government. That's democracy. Let's not destroy our democracy. That's a freedom that we've gotten from our Creator. All right? Our rights are not given by our government. They're protected by our government, or at least they're supposed to be. And we need to stand up for that. All right, for real. I'm going for now. God bless all of yous. Take care.